The Crime and Chaos podcast features discussions and investigations that may include mature themes and content not suitable for listeners under the age of 18. Our episodes often present opinion-based investigations, and some names may be changed to protect the identities. Listener discretion is advised. And if you enjoy what you hear on Crime and Chaos, please take a moment to like and subscribe to our podcast. Your support helps us reach more listeners and continue bringing the content that you love. And don't forget to rate us. Your feedback is invaluable and helps us improve. Join our community and stay updated on our latest episodes. Thank you for listening.
Hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
It's, well, you know, sick and sick.
Everybody's sick.
Yeah, I mean, cleaning up toddler vomit is awesome.
So it's not for the week at all.
No, but thank goodness it wasn't on me this time. It was on her father, so.
Yeah. We love to hear it. We love to hear it.
But I did have to throw the clothes in the washer, so I had to touch it regardless, but.
Well, we can celebrate the fact that we are coming down to the last couple days of 2024 and we're so ready to go into 2025 because clearly.
Yeah, I mean, healthy, rich, fat ass.
Yes. Forget the wise part. Nobody needs that.
Oh yeah, wise.
We need the fat ass. Okay.
Wise.
So, freaks, welcome to Crime and Chaos. That's what we're looking forward to.
Just a bunch of chaos. I mean, I just hope if one thing doesn't change, it's us.
I know.
I love us.
I love us too. And I love that we're matching and that we're on video and we can do some little clips.
Yay! I mean, and this comes out tomorrow. We're literally recording like
oh my gosh,
the night
I
before.
forgot it comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, it comes out tomorrow. So, I mean, maybe.
By the skin of our asses.
Listen, between you traveling and everybody's sick.
Well, in the holidays.
Oh, the holidays too. I mean, they're lucky they're getting an episode, okay? I'm just kidding.
I mean, we really had it stacked up pretty good. And then it's crazy how fast the week goes. You're like, oh my gosh, we have 3 episodes lined up, ready to, set up. And then boom, no bueno.
No bueno. And we unfortunately just kind of slacked because didn't we want to record Thursday? And that just didn't happen.
Didn't pan out. Then I went away. Yeah. So it's been a lot, but we're picking back up and we got to set ourselves up for success for 2025. So by doing this and just keep pushing, like after this week, we're back to smooth sailing because in the big picture, we've already been doing this for how many months now? 3 months.
3 months, yeah. Well, yeah. Wow.
That's crazy.
2.5 months, technically, because 3 months hasn't hit until January 15th.
And we're already recording. So, side note, I don't know how I'm going to edit this because it's video.
I know. We really got to be on our best behavior.
Okay, best behavior. So, now that we are closing up New York, we had the opportunity to talk about O'Shea. We talked about Tanya. And now we're going to talk about upwards of 10 people. But I have, in my opinion, the ultimate plot twist for you at the end. Which I know you know a little bit about it.
Wait. It's the video that I came across okay.
Mind blown. Okay? Yeah. Oh, you ready, girl?
I'm ready, girlfriend.
It's our last episode of 2024, so we're going to make the best out of it.
Yeah, and didn't you say you have a really fun game for the chaos segment?
I do. Uh-huh. I looked it up, and it's going to be great.
Jeez. I feel like I'm a slacker. I haven't done shit.
Who cares? Life goes on. We'll make it work.
We'll make it work, I guess. Okay.
So this story is one that a lot of people have heard. Like me, I really didn't go down the rabbit hole too much because I was just like, wow, that's so crazy. But I didn't get all the details until recently. And I was like, I need more details. I need more. And I freaking got them. Okay. Now,
I think you got more than what you bargained for, to be honest with you.
I really did, but I'm really excited. And I'll just ask throughout this conversation that we refer to this line of work being mentioned as sex workers rather than prostitution. Because to me, and maybe it's the I don't know, millennial in me, but prostitution just sounds so cringy, gross, degrading. I know what these women are doing.
Illegal.
Like,
Because
we know
it's legal in some states.
And we're going to talk about it. And I know, and you know, and everyone knows what's really happening. But we also have to look at the fact that this was a livelihood for these women.
Yeah.
And this is all that they had or knew to do. So we'll just keep the disgusting, belittling word of prostitution out. And then we'll just keep going. So, like I said, there's been crazy headlines. And this is going to take place in New York, just as where we've been. And anyone that's listening probably has already heard of the Long Island murders, the Gilgo murders, the Gilgo 4. I mean, it's called by so many different things. So naturally, when I first talked to you about it and we decided we were going to do it, I let mom know. Because, right, mom's like the ultimate crime connoisseur. The woman watches ID channel 24.
She's like the one that we go to saying, like, Mom, what if we do this? What do you think? And
she'll
she's
be like,
oh,
no, that's overplayed, or she'll do, or whatever.
She'll be like, the hell are you guys thinking about doing that?
Yeah, that shit's stupid.
Yeah. You guys, I thought you guys were cool.
Yeah. So I told her it, and she was hollering. She was like, girl, sit down. So here I am. I sit down. She puts on this movie that was a 2020 Hollywood hit, The Lost Girl. You've seen it, right? I know you have.
I have. Sorry.
You took a slow. What are you drinking? Water?
No, I'm drinking Mountain Dew, and I'm trying not to burp in these people's ears.
Why am I drinking a Ghost at 7:44? It's going to be okay, though.
It's going to be okay. But yes, I have. I actually watched that movie.
It was really good. So here we are. Mom has me in the living room. I'm typing away on my laptop and just go all in. And it really comes down to one single person that popped all of this off. Her name's Shannon Gilbert. She was born October 24th, 86. She was the oldest of several girls, but they were all kind of separated. It sounds like they had a rough bring up. Shannon was actually placed in foster care at the age of 14. And then she kind of went back to family, but there was some kind of incident that occurred with her mom's boyfriend that ended that placement, needless to say. And I think the mom probably meant well. It's a very complicated family dynamic. And again, the age 14 is always popping up to us. Like, I feel we've went through so many girls and it's always age 14, age 14.
What is it about? Maybe it's the age. Again, it's the age of, teen girls. Not yet a woman, no longer a girl. And You're in that in between. You're finding, yourself, you're growing into yourself, you're maturing, you have.
And I feel you kind of get a little bit more ballsy at 14 too.
I was very ballsy at 14,
right.
And I was very, I had that stage between 14 and 16, and then I had my FAFO moment, and Bigley grabbed me up and had a come to Jesus moment. So, I mean, it happens to the best of us, right?
It does. And I know I wasn't in foster care. I don't think you were, right?
No, God, no. My dad is a saint.
Yeah.
No.
So, and I do think, by all means, I do think that there's really great foster parents out there, but I also think that a lot of people maybe do it for the wrong motives, and a lot of things happen in foster care, just as they do in any family. So right now we're painting this picture of this girl and all the adversities that came to her. Aside from that, she was really freaking smart, right? She graduated earlier than any of her classmates. She did have a mental health history, and we'll kind of go into that a little bit more. And then there was drugs involved, and she had a lot, but she was still super smart. So she graduated early, and from there, she kind of did the whole bouncing back and forth, right? New York with grandma, North Carolina with boyfriend. After a few years of that kind of jumping around pattern, she finally landed a job at Lace Party Girls in New York. And this was in 2007. So Lace Party Girls is an escort, kind of like stripper escort business. But 2007 like popped all the way off for Shannon. So she went to the Lace Party Girls, and the career started out pretty rocky as she was arrested in an undercover prostitution sting in 2007. Like the same year. So she gets this job
Dang.
and she boom gets busted in a sting. Like
It's like bad luck.
bad luck, like maybe try a different profession at this point. But you know what? She's
Right.
like, it's good money. We're going to keep going with it.
She's
So
dedicated.
dedicated, very dedicated employee. I like that. So she also met Alex Diaz there. And now Alex was a driver for the girls that participated in Lace Party Girls. So by 2007 in December, so we're ending 2007, we get into a fight and allegedly Alex fucked her up enough to where she needed a metal plate in her jaw. And like a big majority of women, right? She goes back to him.
The baby, I didn't mean to do it. It won't happen again spiel.
Yeah. And I'm also going to add in a personal note of when I watched Lost Girls, the character that played Alex, it gave me PTSD from like growing up because he was like that such a hard ass like thug wannabe, and I was just like gross, total cringe trigger. I mean, total. That was the kind of guys I dated in high school. Luckily, I relieved myself from that life. So
Yeah.
she's back with Alex Diaz and she's still working as an escort. He apparently is okay with it because he's driving other escorts around. So I'm thinking, you know, this is just that open relationship, making good money.
And didn't he reap some of the benefits from her money anyways? Like she was taking care
I'm
of him or
sure.
something?
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just basing it off of the movie.
Sure. Allegedly, he was probably getting a cut. I mean, he's not just driving people around for free.
Right. No.
He was definitely a driver. And I think throughout this whole investigation, I guess you would say, that pimps are often called drivers because you don't want to label them as a pimp, right? You don't want to label an escort as a prostitute. This is more of a driver pimp, like allegedly. So, 2007, things are a little rough. Fast forward up to 2009. Girls hemmed up again, got caught up in yet another sting operation. So, her company ultimately got all the way shot down and she started to look for more job opportunities that was still in the sex industry.
She has bad luck. At that point, I would have just been like, I'm done.
Really, really bad luck. And it makes me wonder, like, why didn't she try? So she's not far from New York City, I'm assuming. Like, why didn't she try to be a server or
work
further
at a
her
bar?
Or at a bar? You know, why? Because she's a smart girl. Like, we can't deny that. She had to know that by putting herself in these positions was going to oftentimes have a bad outcome. However, while she's smart, we also have to remember that she has mental illness and she's doing drugs with them. Like,
Yeah.
it kind of goes with the lifestyle. And I'm very sorry to say that, but I would be interested in looking at the statistics of escorts, drugs, mental illness, coming from a broken home, things like that.
I would assume I mean, they're very closely related, to be honest
Now, I'm not
with
going to
you.
say that, oh, girl that came from Beverly Hills isn't a fancy escort out in Vegas.
No, because they exist.
Thank you.
They exist. They roll around in Chanel and Gucci and all that too. I mean, it's not just low income or anything like that, or you know what I mean?
It's kind of a vibe. Like some of these high-end escorts, I'm like, my God. Like, number one, they're always gorgeous.
But aren't they called
Always.
like sugar babies? Like, don't they refer to themselves as sugar babies instead?
No, I think sugar babies is actually when people just like send you money.
You know what? I wish I had that luck of just like saying, let me get this guy to pay for my house bill.
Yeah.
Just to say hi every
The
single
grocery
day.
bill would be fine. Okay.
Right, right. I mean, we would never run into that kind of luck.
We wouldn't, but everybody has free will and we can do what we want.
Right. This is not an advertisement, by the way. Just want to say
Oh my
that.
God, take another word out of my mouth, Lee. Because what I was just about to say, the advertisement went out on Craigslist because she's still looking for a job. So she throws this Craigslist ad up.
Jeez.
And she ends up making like $800 to $1,000 a night. Like,
Dude.
Groceries for a month. You see what I'm saying?
Not that's like 2 months.
Right?
Every day, you said?
Yeah.
Every week?
$800 a night. And she would need that money to fuel her drug addiction.
So it's just, she's getting it as quick as she's spending it.
Yep. And she also had to pay her drivers. So
she's probably seeing like $100.
Right. So she had one specific driver that she worked with a lot. And his name's Mr. Pack. And they all knew each other well and had been working together for, X amount of months or years. And that's all until it all went down. Like shit hit the fan. So I just picture them, kind of carrying around, kind of joking, it seems like a really good relationship. And I'll tell you why I say that in a little bit. So Mr. Pack had picked her up on this specific night to drive her to her new client in Gilgo Beach, Long Island. And tonight's hot ticket price was for $600 for about 120 minutes, 2 hours.
Ooh, that's a hefty price.
Very hefty. Now, the new client is named Joseph Brewer, and allegedly, him and Mr. Pack are the last people to have ever seen Shannon living again.
So, if you're a detective, right, on her murder, where does the finger point?
It only makes sense.
Right.
2 men, both involved in the sex industry. I mean, we hear these stories all the time,
I would think it.
Anyhow, Shannon and Joe Brewer, Pack's already done dropped her off for that $600 2 hours. Like, they're doing whatever that they're doing, and Pack just sits outside and waits. So there's a whole timeline of events, and I found this website that was amazing. And I'll be sure to link them too so everybody can see it. But the timeline of events is very interesting. So there's lots of calls going back and forth from Shannon and Pack. And I'm like, well, what is she calling him about? Because they're supposed to be connecting for 120 minutes. So she's like making different phone calls to Pack. And at one point she calls CVS. So within all of this, Brewer and Shannon leave his home for 15 minutes. But at 4:45 a.m., there's a turn for the worst. So Shannon is all worked up and agitated, and Brewer is all of a sudden wanting her out of his home and asks Pack to help get her out. So I'm picturing this. She's making all these phone calls to Pack. She makes a phone call to CVS. I'm thinking maybe they want product for whatever reason. Not around here. CVS is not going to be open at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, but whatever. And then her and Brewer go somewhere. Did they go to CVS?
What CVS is open 24?
Maybe in the city. I don't know. So, and then all of a sudden at 4:45, he wants her out and he's calling Pack. Immediately in my head, I'm like, how does he have Pack's phone number?
Right. But my thing is what the hell are they doing at CVS?
That was really weird to me. I'm like, who goes to CVS at this time? So that was at 4:45. 4:51 a.m.
Okay.
She places a call to 911 that lasts 23 minutes. Have you ever had to call 911, Lee?
Yeah, I have.
So it's like those 1, 2, 3 minutes are a lifetime when you're on the phone. So for 23 minutes, and she's still at Joe's house, Joe Brewer's.
So 23 minutes, and I'm wondering why a police officer wasn't dispatched, because they can trace the call to where she's calling from.
Thank you. But remember Floyd County girls? They explained to us, you call 911, it could take 45 minutes.
Right.
We're talking about the city. Who knows? 23 minutes is a long time, if you ask me. Makes me very grateful for the services we have.
Yes.
So while she's still at the house of Joe Brewer, she's on the phone to 911 for this lengthy call. Eventually, she bursts out of the house. And she's heard asking for help because she's still on the phone to 911. She's asking people for help. She's doing all of the most. And it reminded me of Candy Green because Candy Green got out and she's going up to people's houses asking for help. Like, a lot of
Right.
people wouldn't help her. She was going to these different houses, beating on doors. And I got to agree, I would be scared and probably would not let a strange man or even woman in my home.
Either. I wouldn't either.
In this situation, immediately call 911 because I'm scared for that person and I'm also scared for me. So immediately calling 911, keeping them on the phone while I'm like tracking this. That's just what I would do. Okay.
And also, you just never know, too. Like, people are unhinged. We talked about that all the time. We talk about that all the time. And you're talking about yeah, not very early, but early 2000s,
Yeah, 100%.
So,
So eventually she gets to a neighbor's house and this person does allow her in, and the neighbor calls 911 also himself and just says, this girl's in my house, what do we do? So during his 911 call, she takes off from there. I'm like, what is going on here?
I know, and I'm looking. His name is Gus.
Yes, yep.
Gus Juliet, or I don't even know how to say that last name. Coletti.
Okay. So he's trying to help, be the good person that he is. Sees a young girl, let me get her in here. But she takes off. And he's probably standing there like, oh my God, what the hell now?
Right.
So 10 minutes after that long 23-minute phone call ends, she goes to another house who also calls 911. So she's on the phone, she's done hung up, neighbors are calling now. Some people say police don't arrive until 6 a.m.
Krista.
6 a.m. Yeah. So time goes on. Apparently, Pac, whatever, did help look for her. And at 6 a.m., he gives up. He was just like, I don't know. But in his defense, I'm like, I'd be pissed too. She just robbed his ass.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, you're in that business, right? Emotions are not there. I mean, if somebody's stealing money from me, my livelihood, right? If somebody just came up to me and took money out of my bank account, I'm going to be pretty pissed.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely. And, was he
go
looking
swim with the
for...
sharks.
Yeah.
Right.
Was he looking for her own good? Or was he looking for her because he's like, I'm going to beat that bitch up?
He was looking for her. My opinion only. He's looking for her to give her the 1-2, the mess around if
The 1-2.
you're finding out.
Yeah. Okay. So morning comes along. The sisters are calling her, right? And they're telling their mom something's not right. What's going on? And according to the movie, like, this is Hollywood, but then looking at videos of the mom, like in-person video, I can see her acting this way, but it's portrayed that she's like, well, she's a grown woman. It's 6 a.m. If she's not, oh well. She's been missing since 6 a.m. Who cares? So the sisters, they're all like freaked out and worried. Mom thinks she's rebellious. But as time goes on, people are calling the home phone looking for Shannon. One of her sisters are finally like, okay, this is weird. Alex Diaz called here looking for her. So another red flag.
Right.
Boyfriend doesn't know where she is, that she was living with at the time. Red flag.
Right, and I'm sorry, but if I haven't heard from my significant other, I'd be calling way before.
Well, she's only 19 too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, my kids, I don't care how old you are. Like, I'm going to call and I'm going to do whatever I need to ensure your safety. Mom didn't seem too upset at first. She's 19. And there's some that say she even went to as far as saying, well, she's a prostitute. What do you expect? but I can't quote her on that. I don't know. She'd been living an adult life for a long time, and I think mom was finally worried, and mom wasn't going to end there. She's like, we got to figure this out. So she goes ahead and goes to the police and starts rallying for an answer because I'm sure the police, well, she's a prostitute. My hand gestures got a little too hard there. Wow. She's a prostitute. This is what they do. That's my
Right.
perspective.
We talked about it in previous episodes. The stigmatism. Is that
with your
no.
eyes?
Yeah.
The stigma.
Yeah, the stigma. Sorry, that's the word I was looking for. Listen, it's been a day.
I love that we can see and that they get to see us too.
I know. It's been a day, guys. But, the stigma around certain professions, right? We talked about in the previous episode with, Boo, right?
Yeah.
She, it was, are they not looking for her hard enough because, she was the same profession, right? And she
Yeah.
was using drugs as well.
Well, and she was a
So,
transgender. I mean, that was always,
correct. Correct. And, are they looking hard enough for her? I mean, as a mother myself, right, I would be like, well, why is my daughter's life any different than your daughter's life, right? So I can understand why she was so upset. And in the movie, it did portray her mother being like so gun-ho, going every single day
yes.
wanting answers, and she just wasn't getting them.
Well, and you got it when you're a mom, it hits totally different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I can't ever wrap my head around moms that don't choose to be a mom because it hits differently. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, and coming from somebody who, yeah, my mom was around, but, coming from somebody who I think it was their dad has her,
yeah.
I just, as a mother myself, I'm just like, that's like a dog leaving her puppies. Like, that just doesn't happen. So I don't
No.
understand it either.
Yeah. So she is Israeli, and I think she never gave up, but I think in her gut she was like, nobody really gives a shit. Nothing's gonna get done until I get it done. So 2010 comes around, and while conducting a search with a canine detective, the canine comes across a set of remains in a marsh near the last known whereabouts of Shannon. So that instance right there, in that very moment, right? It's the butterfly effect. Are you familiar where one little thing can change your trajectory?
Yep.
So in that given moment in 2010, kicked off an entire whirlwind that then went mainstream. I mean, got a movie out of it.
Right. Domino effect. Just
Yes, the
boom, boom,
domino
boom, boom,
effect. Boom, 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 boom. So this whole whirlwind leads to finding 4 bodies, also known as the Gilgo Four. And I do apologize if I butcher these names, but they are Melissa Bartholomew, Amber Costello, Megan Waterman, and Maureen Brainerd Baines. So in December 2010, all 4 women, like Gilbert, worked as online escorts. And they all went missing between 2007 and 2010. All their bodies were found wrapped up in burlap. And additional searches turned up that skeletal remains of 7 or more, including a toddler. Yes.
No.
Toddler was with an unidentified woman, and there was also an unidentified man. Being up to like 8 remains fine. Like this is, I think there was 10 total altogether.
See, you know what? Not saying an adult life is any different, right? It's still life, but you're an absolute piece of shit. You're not even a piece of shit. You're lower than a piece of shit if you're gonna go ahead and kill a toddler.
And I assume it's mom.
We can only, the only thing in that, that's like, oh, okay, well, at least, right, that kind of silver lining, how you find that silver lining in everything.
Yes. At least it was with mom.
At least it was with mom and they were together. At least we hope, we can assume.
I agree.
Oh, that makes me sick.
So detectives are like scurrying around like, holy shit. At this point, how do you not say serial killer?
You have to.
And I remember watching some of the headlines, and they're taking cranes and just digging up the beach, like finding whatever they can.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture. Like, there's a picture on Newsweek on it,
Yes.
and you just see they have pictures of the women who, who were killed, and then, just the mass amounts of emergency personnel that were there.
But who wasn't found? Shannon. So all these bodies are found, and you know good and damn well.
Mm-hmm.
Mom's like, oh my gosh, this is it. We're finally, maybe telling friends like, we're gonna put my baby to rest, like we're gonna lay her down. Wasn't fucking her. Mind blowing. Like, I can't imagine in that moment what that mom felt like. Oh my gosh, we finally have her. I'm so sad that it was with 3 other people and it's not fucking her. But then, almost exactly a year to the date, Shannon was found in December 2011.
What took so long? That's what I can't, like, I didn't really look into the story too much. I only know of what the movie portrayed, right? And it's not much. How much of it's fact, right?
Allegedly, per the county says that Shannon drowned in the marsh. Right. And that was done by the coroner. So all these other girls are found, also online escorts, found in the beach, and she was found in a marsh. So the bodies in cases went cold for over a decade. And I can't wrap my fucking head around the fact that, so all these go on, and there's clearly a serial killer, and it goes cold for 10 years.
So that means nothing was done until like 2020.
Okay, so let's take a pause and talk about the minority and the demographics, right?
Okay.
These are sex workers. And I'm going to preface and just say how crazy this is because I typed this before this event that I'm about to say. So let's say that this was an A-list celebrity.
Okay.
And what I have written is a hotshot that works on Wall Street.
Okay.
So let's say that they get murdered. I feel like it would be all over the place. And guess what? I typed this before that murder of the CEO of UHC. What did we see nonstop? Still see.
Right. The evidence,
Luigi.
right? Let's just, Mama, I'm in love with a criminal.
He's a doll baby.
He really is. And did I tell you that video got reported?
Yes. How weird.
I know. Whatever. Okay. Lieutenant, whatever.
Behind it.
Whatever.
So
Calm down. No, I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, like a CEO, right? I guess you got to have money in order to be at least relevant.
gun down. But what is any difference of these? How many bodies at this point now? Because you found 4, and then you got all those additional, and then Shannon is drowned. But had this be an A-list celebrity
Mm-hmm.
or someone of some kind of, I don't know, not authority, but
Somebody of status.
yes, status. Someone of status, then it's a whole different story. So that really, okay, so then also in the script, I like that when I'm writing out the script or the notes, that I actually put in words like, I'm pissed. So I was pissed then, and I am pissed now.
Let's be real, right? Something like this happens, you and I are gunned down, right?
Yes.
Is it really going to make headlines? Maybe local news, but not national.
TikTok if we're lucky.
I mean, listen, TikTok already hates us. I highly doubt it.
Right.
I made a video making fun of TikTok. I don't think they care too much about me.
So yeah, that just disgusts me that they're not part of this status. And so now they're just another number, another body thrown to the side. Because, and I'll use that term, thrown, dumped, all of it. That's until July 2023. Now, this is when the story started unraveling to me. I don't remember, I didn't watch Lost Girls. I didn't follow really any of it until July of last year, where several of these crimes was allegedly linked back to a 60-year-old man out of Manhattan who's an architect. Again,
Somebody of status.
somebody of status, who I might add, Lee, that his company, his architect company in Manhattan that he worked with, he has partnered with organizations like Catholic Charities, American Airlines, and lots of other high-end organizations. I'm curious to know if he worked in UHC. Just, just for shits and giggles.
Who knows?
Uh-huh. And that person's Rex Huerman, and they were able to track him down via DNA and some calls placed to some of the deceased women found in the marsh on Gilgo Beach. So he had like a burner phone, I guess, in his office desk, and they linked it back to,
He still had that.
yep, some of that. Some of that.
And this was what, 13 years later? That's disgusting. How many more people did he kill?
Right. So, on our podcast here that we love so dearly, I feel that we do a really good job at kind of devil's advocate, like looking at the perpetrator and saying, well, maybe, or what if, or, all of this. And we also, if they're convicted, we try not to give too much clout and fame to the perpetrators because they don't deserve it.
Mhm.
But what I can say about Rex is that he was a father of 2, married, and he was charged with the original Gilgo 4, those first 4 girls. And then this year, Rex got an additional 2 murders linked back to him.
Was that back in June?
I want to say so.
Because I'm on the article right now.
Yeah, I think it's Jessica Taylor. Is that who you're seeing? Yep, Jessica Taylor. Her murder was in 2003. Those remains were found on Gilgo Beach. And in Manorville, 93, murder of Sandra Casilla. Her remains were found in North Sea, Long Island in 93. Now, he's pleading not guilty and is waiting trial while being locked up.
Listen, somebody asked me, do you think that he killed those girls? I'm going to be like, does a bear shit in the woods?
Does a bear shit in the woods? Like your DNA and now linked calls.
Okay,
and then there's more being linked.
Right, you had a good 30-year run. All right, buddy,
Dude, a 30-year run, that is unbelievable.
30 years. 1993, he was in 2003. And you know what? What makes it even worse, they're going to see my face on that, is that you're a father and you're a husband. You're disgusting. And you know what? I have a theory that he was out there, he was unhappy with his life, right? And he was looking for these, sex workers, and they were like, ew, no. Or they did, and they were trying to take the payment, and all of a sudden, nope, I'm gonna kill you instead.
Yeah, I think he was just getting off on it. Like some weird,
disgusting.
Yeah.
Because all these women have, except for I don't know about the males. I don't know if they were sex workers or not, but I mean,
yeah.
You're...
And I was reading up because TikTok's who really introduced me to this. So I remember watching TikToks and neighbors were like making TikToks and recording themselves with his house behind, because you can imagine the chaos, like everything's taped off. And I want to say, don't quote me, but I want to say that they had a detective get one of his coffee cups out of the trash for his DNA. So
probably because he wasn't giving it up.
So all of this is going on, and people are telling their stories on TikTok going, he was a real cocky, arrogant guy, but quiet. And that makes me even more pissed because I don't like that.
I don't like cocky and arrogant. I want to punch you in the throat when you're cocky and arrogant.
So
karma.
Yeah. And I'm going to watch this case. Like, you better believe Court TV will be glued.
I'm wondering, that live court or whatever on YouTube, I'm wondering if they have that.
I would love that.
Because they aired all of Johnny Depp's and Amber Heard's.
Was that in New York?
Was it in New York? I don't know.
I know some states are a little bit different. Like Florida, they'll tell all their shit.
Well, it's Florida.
Yeah, Florida's wild now, always. So I'm just really confused at this point of the whole episode because my mind's rattling off. So, Shannon, you never really got any... any
Mm-mm.
justice, but you were able to bring forward all these people that needed justice. And I'm wondering, where's Joe Brewer at? Where's Pac at? So all of this is going on in my head, right?
Right. And you know what? I can only hope that she's at peace because she helped solve missing. I would assume that they were considered missing persons, right?
Would have to.
Missing
If
persons
anybody even
cases.
gave a shit to make them missing.
That's true too. But I mean, at least, you know how there's like, again, there's that silver lining. Like, my life was lost, but at least I'm bringing justice. My death isn't going in vain. That's how I would see it. Like, my
Well,
death
and
is
you
not in
also
vain.
have to, respect the fact of the giving of just someone else being found than yourself. But
Yeah,
let's go deeper into Shannon, because I'm not done with her.
I could only imagine. Are we going into her DNA?
We're going to go, Lee, that's a good one.
But
All right, so at this time, Shannon is not whatsoever linked back to the connection of Rex Heuermann. The Suffolk County coroner say that her death ultimately did result in drowning in the marsh. I have my own opinions on it. I think it's all really odd. I think her family has a lot of opinions on it too. It's just too weird. Like, what's the odds, right?
how I would assume, right? You live in Long Island. You probably go to the beach, right? I would assume that you know how to, unless she was using, right? Let's look at it this way. What if she was using and was so high she didn't know what she was doing, right? I could
And was
see
she having a
that.
mental health breakdown? Was she having a mentee B?
She could have. She could have had a mentee B and was using, but at the same time, right? She stole money from these people.
Yeah, she did. She
So
did.
could she have been drowned by somebody and they just made it look like, well,
I would
we
think
already
that the
know.
coroner would have found those. Like some kind of markings on her.
But if she didn't, what if she, well, let's look at it this way. What if, how long was it before she was found though?
Like a year.
So she wouldn't even have
2
those
years
markings
maybe.
on her.
I'm surprised that they ruled it a drowning, because my whole thought was those other girls were found first, so just why wouldn't they just wrap her in with them girls?
Right. I just, not to be morbid, but I wonder at what stage of decomposition was she at? Like, how did they identify? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How did they identify her?
Those are all great questions for the Suffolk County coroner. I'll give him a ring tomorrow on my lunch break. See if he can scan us
Smart
some
ass.
photos.
Smart ass.
Yeah, I wish I knew, Lee.
I know, but these are like the things that come in my head. Like, what the?
Yeah. I wish I really would know.
Because if you're in water, you have to be bloated. Again, not trying to be morbid, but you're
Yeah.
bloated.
Wow. Lots of great questions. And I'm still questioning Michael Pack and Joseph Brewer. So Pack, of course, was the driver that took that girl and multiple girls to their appointments, just like he was known to make trips to CVS for getting lube.
Are we going to a Diddy party?
Ain't no party like a Diddy party. Ain't no party I want to be at that's a Diddy party.
Except for it's not lube, it's baby oil.
Pretty close.
Johnson and Johnson, to be exact.
Yeah, pretty close. What a year for headlines.
Listen, my bingo card is already. I think my bingo card was full 6 months into 2024.
Yeah.
The last 6 months, it just
snapped.
snapped.
That's episode of Snap 2024. So there's not a whole lot out there about Pack. I went into the court documents. I saw where they interviewed him, but there's just not a lot of information. However, do you know what has the most information? You turned me on to this one. Reddit.
I love Reddit. Listen, you want the tea? Go to Reddit. Because
Reddit's got the tea.
Reddit pops off.
So 2 years ago, Fantastic Sputnik says this is his takeaway from reading the document and listening to the 911 call. So
I love that name though.
Yeah.
It's
Thank
fun
you,
name.
Fantastic Sputnik. So, number one, Pack has participated in human trafficking of at least 2 Asians into the U.S. on 2 separate incidents that law enforcement knows about. Pretty much, he says that he was simply accompanying them throughout the airports for payments of $3,000. He's worked at lots of multiple prostitution agencies as a driver, but claims he doesn't remember any details or the names of them. It was 10 years prior.
Of course, you just conveniently forgot, sir.
Yep. He looked on Craigslist to get escort driving companies. Interesting to note, since a lot of victims use Craigslist to, possibly find clients. Although Pat claims to have no part in arranging meetings between clients and prostitutes. He says that after Shannon called him from inside Brewer's house and said that she would find her own way home, and she hung up on him. He had Brewer's phone number and tried calling him. He didn't try calling Shannon soon after she went missing.
Okay, so you're not going to call Shannon, but you're going to call the dude that you don't really know. I think those two, my thing is maybe
Well,
they had
and Sputnik,
something.
this is all on his account. This is what he's saying. But however he got his hands on the 911 call, I'm trying to get that fantastic Sputnik. Because during the 911 call, this Reddit user says that Shannon accuses Pack directly of trying to kill her on the 911 call.
So it's on YouTube,
The
911 call.
play it. Let's hear it.
I have my headphones in. Oh, 1 second. I think this is it.
It should be like 23.
It's 35 minutes and 33 seconds. Let me see. There's a crying baby commercial. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Cue the Jeopardy, or not Jeopardy, the the Jeopardy music. Okay. I'm gonna try to play it, and hopefully you guys can hear it. I'm gonna put it up to my speaker.
Police. Yeah, there's somebody after me. I'm sorry? There's somebody after me. Where are you? There's somebody after me. Okay, where are you? Somebody after me. Where are you, ma'am? I don't know. You're driving right now? Sorry? I'm inside the house. What house? I don't know. Can you trace where I am? I'm sorry? Can you trace where I am? No, I can't. What's your callback number you're calling from? Huh? What phone number are you calling from? Somebody's after me. Please. Are you in Suffolk County or Nassau County? I'm in Long Island. Where on Long Island are you?
So the guy that you heard saying, yeah, he wants to talk to you, the guy wants to talk to you, that's Joe Brewer.
Oh, he's trying to get her out of the
Shannon.
house. That's what they said too. She sounds kind of fucked up.
No. Where in Long Island are you? In Suffolk County? Nassau County? What?
And that's Michael Pack.
Gotcha.
Why are you calling me by my name? Stop. Stop it, please. Please stop. Please. Can you shut the door? Please. Please. Please.
Come on, let's go. Come on, roll that side. Come on, go outside. All of us. Come on, over outside. Come on.
No, please.
So you can just kind of hear, I don't know, she kind of sounds,
Like disoriented to me.
yeah. And in the last part that I shared, he says, come on. Well, this is Joe Brewer. Come on, let's go. We'll all go outside. And then it's inaudible. Come on, going outside. All of us. Come on, all of us. Come on. We're all going outside. Come on.
So they're trying to get her out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
She must have snapped. She must have just lost her mind. Like something happened.
Yeah, and then in this Joe in the 911 call, I'm looking and it says, I'll go upstairs. You leave. Hey, look, I'm going upstairs. You leave. I'm going upstairs. Okay. You leave, please. And then Michael Pack says something. And then Shannon says, what are you going to do to me? Again, it's inaudible, but Shannon says, why? 911 says, I don't know. And then Shannon says, why? You going to kill me? And then Michael Pack says, are you crazy? And he says, come on, you're freaking me out. Let's go. Out in the middle of nowhere, he goes, let's go back to Manhattan. All right. We're in Long Island. We're near the water. So the ocean.
What?
Mm-hmm. And then he says, sorry, I just lost it.
I can see the video in your glasses.
Can you?
Yeah.
Then the 911 operator said, or then he says, come on, it's me. Come on, let's go. And then 911 operator says, hello. Michael says something. And then again, the operator says, hello. And Shannon says, please. She was like, what? What's the problem? What's the matter? What happened? And then Michael says something, and then she's saying, you're being sarcastic. And then it goes into the 911 call from Gus.
Gotcha. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think hearing Joe Brewer is, putting a little bit more, like a light bulb went off in my head, because you can tell he wants her out. So
Mm-hmm.
Joe worked in finance and was actually unemployed at this time and was separated from his wife. So he was probably like, oh, damn, like we're not all the way broke up or something. So he was looking for a little bit of fun, and I feel he just got more than what he bargained for.
Right.
In the police transcripts, you can see or hear, like you said, that he's telling Shannon, let's go, let's get out, we're done. He even denies ever having sex with her. Initially, I was red flagged on him, but I did read somewhere that he and Pac were cleared due to surveillance, and they even passed a polygraph.
Mm.
So Pac, I don't get any weird, I'm sorry, Brewer, I don't get any weird vibes, because I think it was exactly it. He was trying to have a little bit of fun. Is it the right thing? Everyone has their own opinion, but he got more than what he bargained for. He got this girl having a meant to be, tripping out on whatever with her driver.
Right. Actually, Michael Pack talks to the 911 operator.
So they're clearly concerned.
Right. And Gus, actually, she looks so young, to where Gus is like, this girl is about 14 years old, got blonde hair, very small. The boy, I can't tell. He was in like a Suburban. And then there's another 911 caller, Barbara Brennan.
Yes.
So, it goes through all of their 911 calls.
And that probably went to court, I'm sure. I'm sure it did.
I hope so.
So there's no denying that she was with Joe. She was with Pac. They, aside from the neighbors, are the last ones to see her alive.
Mm-hmm.
I think things got totally out of control. And I have to say, my opinion, I feel like she drowned. But then at the same time, I'm like, what a coincidence. How in the fuck? There's no way.
Yeah, because she comes in, like, it looks like she's, like, just from the call, it sounds like Shannon is just, like, barging into his home, and he was like, what's the matter? Is somebody after you? And she's like, I need help. And then it just kind of cuts off. He goes, there's a young girl, 14 years old, running around here screaming, and there's some guy trying to follow her. So I don't know.
I did get pretty big headlines, and I'm sure Pac and Brewer's life will never be the same, because now they're involved in this crazy story. And even People magazine did a story on this. One of the statements made by the Gilbert family says, Shannon will be remembered for the girl who by her death exposed the truth and the killer. Gilbert family attorney John Ray tells People, what Shannon's case did is forced the authorities to finally pursue the evidence that existed for other girls. Shannon kept the pressure on all those years, even though she was dead.
And like I said, there's that silver lining. It sounds like she was a fighter in real life, and even in death, she's fighting. She's like, okay, yeah, just because I'm not getting the justice, these girls are going to get the justice. And look, she brought their killer to light. Like, in reality.
Girl, Lee, I gotta get something off my chest.
What did I do?
Her mother later gets murdered by her sister.
Bunch of
crazy. So
I think this family's cursed.
So Mom Mary who
Mhm.
rallied for Shannon. This is Shannon's mom. She died July 3rd, 2016. I'm going to tell you all about it. Okay?
Okay.
But first, we got to jump back to February 2003. So Shannon's dead due to drowning, and mom and her other daughters go on as good as possible, right?
Mhm.
I mean, can you really imagine your sister's gone? She's missing. You find a body, not hers. Decades go on. People are looking for it, and she's gone. And
Right.
then you get all this media. Now there's a movie being done about it. Like, I can only imagine that they're trying to live as good as they can, but this is a wild time and devastating.
Right.
So they're trying to move on as good as possible. And police in their area seem to be familiar with that family. Not just because of Shannon's case, but because her sister Sarah Gilbert was making quite the name for herself.
And just from that short YouTube clip that I watched, shout out to Come Explore With Us.
That's the raw shit ever.
Dude, you could see everything.
They do the most. Seriously,
Mhm.
I will link them. We'll link them to this episode because they were so good, and I feel like everybody needs to watch the episode about Sarah Gilbert.
Yeah, and the guy that talks, like, in the episode, the voice, the narrator, he is so well spoken, and his voice is just the perfect dramatic
Love
for
it.
true crime.
So good. So he's showing this whole video. It's police cam start to finish, right? And I watch a good amount of police footage regarding Sarah Gilbert, and this video in February starts off by showing police like beating on Sarah's door for a good amount, right? They're
Mhm.
knocking over and over again. Finally, Sarah opens the door and welcomes the cops in, saying she just got out of the bath because she was all wet. And she doesn't seem nervous at all. And she tells them that recently she was arguing with her mom about Shannon's death. She upfront and says she thinks her mom had something to do with it.
She has a history of mental health, though, too.
She does. She does. So the cops ask if she had gotten in a physical altercation with anyone or any animals, and that stuck out to me. I'm like, what is she doing? Fighting animals? Like, maybe his
Is there
verbiage
a
was,
kangaroo?
bro, I would not fight a fucking king.
That comes across my For You page on TikTok all the time.
Me
Is
too. Those
people
beefy ass kangaroos.
and people. There's this dude. He was like the kangaroo had like the dog by the collar, and the dude just goes up and just like punches it, and the kangaroo lets it go, and he just looks at it like, "You really
No,
just went
bro,
there."
so I'm not. I'll fight a shark, but I will not fight a kangaroo.
I'll fight a kangaroo. You can fight the shark.
Yeah, we're good. We should go to Australia then.
No, there's too
Okay.
many spiders.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah, we can't do that. So, yeah, the cop asks, like, have you heard any animals or anything? And he begins to ask about a specific dog. And I'm thinking, well, god dang, they are really whatever. So Sarah starts to then tell them about a new paper article and says she's going to talk to her mom about it. Finally, the cops just find a dead dog in the bathroom. And Sarah says, I'm evil. And the cops do a really great job confirming that she's not evil, but she's going through a hard time, rather. And then she just tells the cop that she killed the dog and finally says she drowned the dog and that's why she's wet.
Yeah, and in the clip, wasn't her son there too?
Yeah. So during further investigations, her boyfriend ended up talking to detectives and states that their 6-year-old son was present when she did this heinous act that she did and she admits. And it's later said in this whole story that she drove her 6-year-old son to the woods and threatened him with a knife and says, if you tell anyone, yada, yada, yada.
So they added that at the very end,
Mhm.
and because to give a backstory, Eminem all had to deal with Eminem.
Oh gosh, I'll tell him about that.
Okay.
I did the whole thing because this was just so wild to me. Sarah is going through it. Sarah done killed the dog. All right. That very day, Mary, Sarah, and Shannon's mom comes to pick Sarah up, and Sarah is certain her mom doesn't love her, right? You know what I'm talking about? Where Mary's like holding her and she's like, well, I do love her. I was not feeling Mary's vibes, bro.
I think Mary is just over it because Mary's dealt with this.
Mary's dealt with this. Mary obviously had some issues too because her kids were in foster care at some point. So something happened with Mary, and then she got into it with a boyfriend or something. There's just a lot going on. And realistically, if both girls have mental illness, mom very well could have too.
Well, it comes from somewhere.
Yeah. So there's like a whole aggressive, I do love you type thing that everybody will see when you watch it. And Sarah does get a few charges. She goes to a psych stay for 35 days. She does do some jail time. But when she's in bail or in jail, Sarah starts begging for bail to be posted to mom. What the hell's mom do? Goes and gets her ass.
Yeah, because did you hear that call?
Yeah, this whole ass story that Sarah plays on the phone to her mom, and mom believes it and goes and bails her out in April.
I'm like, dude, if that ain't gullible, I don't know what it is.
Yeah. So this went down in February. She does the psych stay, does the jail time, gets out in April. Okay. And now we're going to jump to July. So this is when shit hits the fan. Shit hits the fan with these Gilbert girls.
Why in cancer season?
Girl, for real.
Leave our
Rude.
season alone.
So shit hits the fan, and when nobody heard from Mary in just 4 to 5 hours, her daughter Cherie and Mary's husband Leroy call for a wellness check. So 4 to 5 hours, that's pretty short time. They must keep pretty good tabs on Mary. Why?
Right. And what about her going over, right? Or being over at Sarah's makes them uneasy to where, because I heard the 911 call and I'm like, why are you freaking out so bad if you haven't heard from your mom in a couple of hours?
It was not long at all. Not long. So again, this information's all collected from the police footage, and it's the Explore With Us. Leroy, Mary's husband, and the police are at Mary's house trying to get in, and you can see Leroy going to open the bedroom window, and he kind of just peeks in a little bit, and then you just hear him crying, and that hurt me. I'm like, oh, Leroy.
I know.
And the daughter, Cherie, is screaming. She's like, what's going on, Leroy? What's going on? So right off the rip, he could tell that she was murdered. There was blood all over the place.
And they did their best to try to blur that out. And even in the video, you can still see
Right.
everything.
And you know what really pulled on me was all the kids under the age of 12 that were just standing there.
Yeah, and hearing everything. And because the officers that were in that video did their best. They're like,
I was so impressed.
They're like, you have kids. You need to stop because you have kids. Don't freak them out even more.
Yes, they did so good. And just the way that they talked to Sarah, given she just performed God knows what on her mother, they're like, it's okay. You know, Officer Hernandez, the female, she was so sweet and so soft-spoken with her. I felt that they did an outstanding job.
They did.
So Officer Bell is the guy that's on there, and he ends up breaking down the door. And dude, this is not funny, but I for real chuckled for a hot second when they opened the door and there's Sarah just smoking a cigarette.
Dude, can I tell you, I jumped at that part. I don't know why. I jumped. I think I was like not expecting to see her. And then here she is, just nonchalant, like,
Yeah,
yeah,
standing back.
I
She's
did.
like, matter of fact.
I killed her.
Flat out, I killed my mom. Like, what?
And then she goes and says, like, she's still alive.
Yeah, and then she changes it back. So they kind of go back and forth. Is she dead? Is she alive? She's indeed dead. And Sarah goes through all these emotions. She's like, doesn't give a shit, smoking her cigarette. to now she's kind of sad. And then it's crisis mode, and the police is doing the best that they can. So she turns out definitely schizophrenia and whatever else. She believes that the voices in her head was telling her to do it. The voices were the freaking fire detector. Beep.
Yeah,
beep.
yeah, because you can say, "Did you hear that? They said
Yeah.
do it."
She'd be like, "Did you
They
hear
said-
that?"
And then when it would go off, you know damn well that officer's like, "This bitch is crazy."
Right. So they finally get her out of the house, and you just hear Cherie screaming, "What did you do?" Because they're informed now that, like, mom's dead. She's been murdered.
Yeah, and I mean, she told them, like, in the very beginning of this episode, "I'm evil. I'm capable of evil things."
In her mugshot, like, she's got the eyes.
She does, but I also think too is you got to think about who, the demographic too, right? Like, unfortunately, the resources just aren't there. And when you're unmedicated and you're that mentally ill, that leads to so many. I always say it's the mask that comes on. Like, it's not really you, but it's the disease, right? The disability that just masks everything, and then it's like staring at a empty eyes. That's what I want to say. Empty eyes.
Completely. She has the empty eyes. Yeah, 1,000%. And you're right. You can tell by watching the video that their demographic was less fortunate,
Mm-hmm.
and they've clearly been through a lot. And sometimes when you get into a state of psychosis, it goes on for a long time. So has she been in a state of psychosis for how many years from all the different life events that's not medicated?
Right. And she had postpartum too, I think. Don't quote me, but I think they did say that she had postpartum and just was never treated or whatever back, like when that first started to happen, like her mental illness. But go back, that mom that killed her, what was it? Her 3 kids? Two or
Andrea
three?
Yost?
Yeah, her.
Never forget that story.
Wait, is it her that she was in psychosis and the dad was going out to...
She drowned all of them?
No, not her. There was another one, like, it just happened a couple of years ago during COVID. Like, she ended up strangling all of her kids while her husband went to go get food.
Fuck.
And it happened in a short time, and she tried to kill her own self, and then she went into jail, and she's like, I don't know. Like, it was like psychosis, and she just had a baby.
Dude, that shit is so scary.
It is, like, and just think, like, you have that mental illness, right? And your family has a history. I mean, obviously, because it's sisters, and I don't know if they have the same dad or not, but...
And how about Cherie?
I don't even know about Cherie.
Well, I'm just saying, like, sisters murdered or drowned, mom's murdered by sister. That's all they have. And you hear Cherie saying, like, I have no family. Like, I can't take these kids anywhere. We have no one.
Yeah, like, the only person that I have is my mom.
Right.
She does say that. The only person that I have is my mom.
Oh, God, my heart goes out to her.
I know.
So much. So they finally get Sarah over to the station, and she's telling him that she took a shot of Haldol. So she must have known that she was doing it. So she had the prescription. She took a shot of Haldol. She needs water. You know, she's asking, like, can I fix my hair? They're like, pretty much no. Like, you're not doing anything.
Fixing her hair for the photo.
Yeah, the mugshot. So Officer Gonzalez, I'm sorry if I said Hernandez, it is Gonzalez. Her supervisor is super, super sweet with her. They're very kind, understanding. She's asking for water. She's asking to go to the bathroom. She's doing all of that. However, the officer does allow her to use the bathroom and does not go in with her. And of course, she washed her hands, erasing evidence.
Yep.
So I felt so bad. They'll see in the video where she had to go up and tell her supervisor, like, she washed her hands.
The look of sheer, like
motherfuck.
Like, I fucked up.
Yeah, dude.
That's what comes to my head. Like, no, I fucked up.
Totally.
I fucked up. That's like
totally bad. She was like,
yeah,
this shit ain't good. Gosh.
Yeah,
and it wasn't good.
And her supervisor's even like,
Yeah.
No.
The supervisor's face is what really got me, and she was just like, no, you didn't.
I
Yeah. Like slow motion. So that's okay because the next bathroom trip, female. Okay, this gave me like Jip Jip Rose vibes, right?
Yes.
This part. Next trip, a female officer goes with her and realizes that her panties are all bloody.
Mm-hmm.
So then she has to go back to that same supervisor. This is not funny. I'm just laughing at like their reactions because I've been a worker at work and you're just relating with your coworkers.
Yeah.
And she has to tell her supervisor, like, so her underwear is bloody. She's not on her period. It's because she was in her panties on top of her mother, brutally stabbing her. And we'll add in that she actually stabbed her 227 times,
I didn't even get that from the video.
sprayed her with a fire extinguisher,
I saw that.
and even blew foam down in her mouth. But she did take a cigarette break in between this brutal murder.
Yeah, wasn't this going on for like a couple of hours?
Probably the couple of hours that they were worried about where their mom was. So
Mhm.
Sarah, she already admitted, we know this,
Mhm.
and she states that she had everything prepared and ready to kill her mom before Mary even got there. And at the time of the interrogation, that's when she starts saying that it was because Eminem, the rapper, he did it. He wrote songs for her, and it was regarding the book or the song. That's all she wrote. Now that's false. That's proven to be false.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what I thought about this? And it's not funny that one girl that was on Dr. Phil that said that Eminem was her dad and that she was having Jesus's baby or yeah.
Mary?
Yeah, she was pregnant by Jesus or something like that. And she was like, "Yeah, Eminem is my dad. I have a picture of him and he looks exactly like that and we look alike." So that kind of reminded me of that. I think she had a little schizophrenia too.
So, August 2017, she was convicted to second degree murder and sentenced to 25 years in a New York correction facility.
And I like how they did follow up and said like her son is still doing really well.
Good.
Yeah,
I
they
didn't catch that part.
yeah, they said they followed up and well they went back to see how cuz her son was with the sister
Wow, yeah.
and he was doing okay. And or it was with the dad or something. I can't remember, but they did follow up with that and that was pretty cool.
So, I'm very surprised. I want to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, that when she did the 35 days in a psychiatric stay, they deemed that she was mentally stable.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so that's why she went to a corrections rather than an institution. Because I feel that she should have been institutionalized.
Here's the thing, like how much of that though, like yeah, we know that she has a mental illness, but how much of that was she just playing into it? Because you know how some people are like,
Yeah, you're right.
no,
You're right.
I'm mentally ill. I'm gonna do this, to play into the, you know,
Dude, you're right. Because she had the drugs on hand. She had the Haldol.
right, the not guilty beyond reasonable or the not guilty by the reason of insanity or whatever that the saying is. But yeah, what if like she was really trying to play into that and she was saying, but there were written notes.
There
That's
were,
where
and yeah, I think she ended up saying that she had it planned for like forever. Like she knew exactly what she was going to do, how she was going to do it, and she had everything set up for when her mom got there.
yeah, because she really did think that her mom killed her sister.
Man, you're onto something. You're so right. Like, what if she really believes that her mom was responsible for it? And in turn, she's like, I gotta do this to her. And
Mm-hmm.
then was like, I gotta play like I'm crazy.
Dude,
Wow.
yeah.
Can we get Kim Kardashian on this case? Because what if she's the innocent one and she needs to
Mm-hmm.
be let out? And by saying like, I know my mom did whatever, but why would that girl drown that dog? Come on.
I mean, maybe she was having a mentee bee. right?
Maybe she was practicing.
Maybe she was no, but I mean, they do say though, if you can kill an animal, you're capable of killing, like that's how serial killers start out, right? We've all seen
Michael Myers?
Halloween. Yeah, we've
Yeah,
all
right.
seen Halloween, how he starts out, he starts killing like rats and cats and all that. I mean, but really that's how it starts. Like just from what I know
I just can't
or seen.
I can't let go of a few things on this whole start to finish. The drowning.
She drowned the dog, right? Her sister drowned. Was she projecting?
Holy shit.
Was she projecting?
Could have been.
I mean, let's be real. Like they said, her sister drowned. She drowned the dog. She thinks her mom truly did kill her sister.
Maybe she saw it.
I don't know, but I guess we would have to look at, okay, the alibis, because I'm assuming they would have to question the family too, because they would want to know, like, where were you at this time, this date, like. But then again, you know what I mean? Like, it was, what was the year again? 2000, and for Shannon.
Shannon was 2009, I believe.
2009? Okay, so 2009, they could ping cell phones.
Yes.
I mean, granted, it's not smartphone. Oh, I don't know. 2010, there was an iPhone, but still, like, you could still ping cell phones. So if they had a cell phone, they could. So I don't know.
Well, and I don't think that Mary would do all the rallying that she would have.
No, and that's why maybe it was resentment.
That could be.
Because
that could be.
You've shown all this love to Shannon now that she's dead, and you kind of abandoned me.
Well, who knows what kind of lifestyle she had growing up too, because look, Shannon was in foster, you know what I mean?
And again, you know, unfortunately, you know, Shannon was probably looking for love in all the wrong places.
Right.
And maybe Sarah did this as a, now who's the attention on now?
So we'll have to stay tuned for the Rex Huerman, because I want to see how this all crumbles out. And Sarah is up for parole coming here soon. So yeah,
2026?
she's gonna she tried to appeal it or something.
Was it 2026?
Yeah, I think
That's what
so.
I thought.
And one other update. So Krista Garrett, we followed her story in Floyd County, and we had talked about how her brother practically raised her, and now her brother's wife is raising Krista's kids, and I just learned that he passed away. So much thought and prayers goes out to that family for enduring another loss, and I think it's just been really hard on them through the Christmas season, and you know, knowing that Krista is still missing. So there's that update. But before we go to bed, let's do something fun, because now I'm just thinking about scary snap moments.
Really? See, murder doesn't really scare me.
It's not the murder part. That doesn't scare me. It's the fact that, you know, people are living life and then they fall into psychosis.
Yeah, I mean, do you know anybody in psychosis?
I don't know anybody personally, but yeah, I've known lots of people. So in my career doing hands-on, you know, in facilities, I had one facility that was a behavioral facility. So that was very common.
Yeah, psychosis is scary.
Extremely scary.
I'm fortunate to never had a family member like directly experience it. I'm sure I've had family members experience psychosis, but I mean, working in, you know, the field that we all work in, you know, I feel like at some point we're all, you know, seeing somebody in that state of mind.
Sure.
But, you know, it is scary, but I don't think you have anything to worry about. Hopefully not.
I hope not either, but you know, you always hear of those women that they snap, and I'm like, God, that is so scary. But I could think into it too far too.
Yeah, and you don't like scary stuff, like thinking about that stuff either. And I'm just like, bring it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just kidding. I'm like chicken shit, just like when we went to the alley and I was like, "Meow."
Mm-hmm. That's true too.
Mm.
You want to play reindeer games?
Again, reindeer games again.
No, I just called it reindeer games. It
Okay.
is Dirty Minds Crime and Chaos Edition.
Ooh, kind of like Criminal Minds.
Yep. So I'm going to give you clues and you're going to guess what it is, okay?
God, it's
Okay, Lee.
okay.
I've
But
been
you're laughing.
I've
You're
been hanging out
laughing.
with Pennifer the whole time we've been talking, so Pennifer, she's our girl. She says, I'm long, hard, and will get you locked up if I'm inside you. What am I?
A key?
You weren't ready for that, were you?
Is it a key?
It's a crowbar, but that is such a good guess.
I'm like, okay, sometimes it's long, skinny, and it does lock.
Yeah.
A skeleton
Okay.
key.
And this is getting everybody spiced up for their New Year's Eve get downs.
Jeez. Remember, did I tell you what happened?
No, tell me.
Okay, now that we're playing. So we ordered like a DoorDash order, right? And this was like after Christmas Eve. Like it was Christmas Day that we ordered this. We ordered Monsters, right? Two energy drinks and nose spray, like for like Brandon's allergies.
Jesus, Lord have mercy.
What is it called? Nasal saline spray or whatever. So I go and I'm like, oh, the DoorDash is here. I go pick it up. I pull I'm like, this isn't, I go, they must have forgotten our monsters. Nope, it was Plan B.
You got Plan B sent to your house?
No, it was somebody else's order. And I'm like, this is the wrong time. When you're taking Plan B, every minute counts.
Right.
So I call the guy and I'm like, hey, we got the wrong order. We don't need Plan B. I'm fixed, y'all, so I can't have kids. And I was like, we didn't order the Plan B. I go, we got the wrong order. He goes, oh, this is gonna be a nightmare. Now I gotta call these people.
That's so funny.
So speaking of spicy, somebody got spicy on Christmas Eve and
Christmas Eve and had to get the Plan B.
Somebody didn't want a cancer baby.
Oh my gosh.
Mm.
Oh my god, wow, good for them.
Wait, would it be a Cancer? No, it would be a Leo.
I don't know. I'm not that good.
I'm thinking, no, it wouldn't be because that's only 7 months. So, yeah. But yeah, that's what happened.
Here's one that goes completely with us. I'm always getting nailed, but I keep your secrets locked up tight. What am I?
Krista. Just kidding.
Lee? I'm getting nailed for sure, yeah. Girl, it's a coffin.
Coffin? Oh yeah, because I guess you're dead. You can't spread any secrets.
Yep. And this also goes with us.
Okay.
Kinda, on the murder aspect. I can go deep. I'm dirty. And people use me to cover things up. What am I?
I can go deep. Is it a shovel?
Oh my god, you're so freaking smart.
Did I
Yeah,
get
dude.
it? I was gonna say, you dirty hoe.
That would have been just as good.
I know. I mean,
they missed an
they're the same
opportunity.
thing. Kind of. Ish.
Oh my gosh. Well, that was so much fun.
It was. I gotta come up with the game next time.
Yeah. Yeah, you try me.
I'll
And
try
next
you.
week, we are going to New Jersey?
Yes, because we're
Yep.
going up instead of south over.
And we should do a little fun reel or TikTok because as we go, like, I don't feel like either of us know much about Rhode Island or Vermont. Let's make a TikTok or reel asking people if they know any spooky paranormal stories or not well mentioned.
I will say I've been to Rhode Island. Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Who goes to Rhode Island and why?
Listen, ex's families, members.
Rhode Island. Yeah.
Connecticut, did Rhode Island and Jersey, New York, all
Okay.
that. But Rhode Island, they actually have really, really, really good lobster rolls there.
I'm down. Hey,
Yeah.
put it on the tour, Lee.
Yeah, and
This is our year.
Patty's Wigwam That's what I remember in Rhode Island is Patty's Wigwam. I don't remember anything else. And the
I don't know
lobster
what
roll.
that is. I don't know what that is. But
My nose itches.
got a hole in your britches. That's what it means.
I don't know. My hands and my nose have been itching like nonstop.
You're gonna get money too.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Money? I
If your
hope.
palms itch.
My palms itch, my nose itches, and then I had an itch on the bottom of my lip. I don't know what's going on.
Bro, you're fucking itchy. That's what the problem is.
I don't know. I always feel like throughout the now I'm itching everywhere. So like throughout the episode, I felt like I was sniffing up my hair through my nose, and that's why I was going,
Yeah. Have you ever tweezed a nose hair?
yeah, dude.
Dude, they're so bad.
See, it doesn't hurt. I mean, tweezing doesn't bother me.
Like, oh.
I can
like every
tweeze
time.
forever. Sometimes I tweeze like my my legs. Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah, ingrown hairs, girl.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, like I
Dude,
don't
I was
go
thinking like your
tweeze.
freaking leg hairs.
Like, yeah, I mean, I've tweezed my leg hair before. Like, not all of it, but I
Okay,
mean,
right.
not
the
all
first
of
fall.
it. Yeah, that would take forever. That would take like a year to do. Because listen, wintertime, these babies don't get shaved.
Yeah, rarely. But you have to because sometimes they like hurt your pants to wear them.
Yeah, but then I'm like, ugh, see, my legs get so dry to wear that strawberry. You know what I'm talking about? The
Yeah.
strawberry, like, look to your legs. And I'm like, this ain't it.
It reminds me of like old women. I have it too.
Yeah, see, and that's how you know you're getting old.
And you know, yeah, 30 to 37 was like 5 minutes.
Don't tell me that.
Dude, it's going to go so quick.
I am terrified. What scares me is aging.
I refuse to do it. Gray hair?
I don't want to live past like 80.
Dude, I'm here forever.
I don't want to live past 80. It sounds miserable. Do you really want to be in a nursing home?
Yeah, I've already spent more than half my life in a nursing home.
No.
I worked in nursing home care for more than half my life.
I told my kids they put me in a nursing home, I'm haunting their asses, and they're going to think that they have a demon in their house because I'm not going to let them sleep.
Good.
Put me in a nursing home.
I'm going to that nursing home and I'm going to fuck shit up. That's what I'm going to do.
You know what? How about this? I'll go into the nursing home as long as you're my roommate.
Okay, that would be so much fun.
Crime and Chaos, elderly edition.
Bro, that's really lightweight. That's really like 10 years away.
No, really. If you think about it, we're already middle-aged. We're halfway done with life.
I cannot, like, literally, I cannot believe that I'm over 30. Like, sometimes I always sit and think, like, God, I feel like I just turned 35 or 30. And I'm like, you're about to be 37.
Listen, getting the news that I have to now wear my glasses 24/7 whenever I'm awake.
That's right, yeah.
And glaucoma's in my horizon, like that's I'm old and going up in prescription.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I started taking calcium.
See, I thought I like broccoli and I thought broccoli helped. Carrots, I don't know.
No, my girl.
I can't do milk. My tum-tum would hurt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I gotta roll.
All right, blood pressure time.
Blood pressure pill time, that's right. So
Speaking
have the
of
day you
getting old.
deserve.
Or don't.